Hey guys, how's it going? CR Barton 92 here, bringing you some information about a game that has been coming to light recently. This game is Escape from Tarkov, and it's from a new developer, or fairly new developer, called Battlestate. Uh, Escape from Tarkov is Battlestate's first uh, title. However, the uh, developers, the team has worked on several other games. Uh, one of them probably having the most influence on this game. One of the team members uh, did work on the Stalker series of games, and I'm creating this video because there's a lot of misinformation that's going around about this game. I've been following the FAQ and other questions and answers that the team has been addressing both on their website and on their Facebook page. And so I just wanted to create a video of as much of this information as I could in a reasonable time period. So they have released recently, this was the 24th, this was the 23rd of December. They've released a couple new videos fairly recently about this game. Closed alpha is supposed to be coming out in February, and closed beta will be shortly after. Release of the full game is slated for the second quarter of 2016. Game is in pre-alpha currently, but as you'll see from the videos that I'm going to play here, pre-alpha is very well polished. They have been working on this game for a number of years already. 4 years, I believe, is what I have heard, that they've been working on it. So the levels look awesome. The weapons and weapon systems and the loot, it's all pretty well polished. And even though they've in the past month have only just recently released the information, they've kept this project secret for a long time. It's a pretty polished pre-alpha. So I'm going to play this in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear it with the my video capture software, but I'll go over some. This wasn't the video I wanted to play first. I'm sorry. Here, I'm going to show you the inventory and looting, and I'll talk over this as it goes along. I'll try and pause on some stuff here. So he's starting out. He's over by a hotel, a little motel. I'll pause here. You can see this your inventories menu here, and so it's similar to Daisy, but it's a lot more polished off. This is a much better system than you see. This game is not clunky like Daisy. A lot of people are saying that this game is the next Daisy. No, it's not. There are no zombies in this game. It's not a post-apocalyptic world. It's set in a parallel universe, if you will, in Russia. This is as I understand it, Escape from Tarkov is the Battlestate's first game in their Russia 2028 series, 2028 series of games set in that universe. So I'll explain a little more about the what's going on, in the game, where the setting is a little bit later. But just pause here on a little bit on the inventory screen. You can see you've got your chest rig. You're gonna be able to modify this with Molly. Molly is a modular load-bearing system that is currently being used by the U.S. military and other military forces. and you'll be able to modify that for carrying your magazines, whatever else you want, pockets. Your backpack, there will be different size backpacks around. You'll have different size boxes that are securable. So if you died and you're able to go back to where your body was, you'll be able to pick up your box, your secured box, and other people wouldn't be able to loot what's inside of your box. So there's that. You're able to carry a firearm, your main weapon, uh, on your belt. I think they actually mean a sling here. They call it a belt, but they are a Russian team, and this is in English here, so I think a little bit may have gotten lost in translation. You're able to carry another full-size weapon, rifle, shotgun, whatever, on your back. And then you're able to carry a knife in your scabbard and a handgun in your holster. You got different types of body armor, helmets or hats, goggles. You can wear a headset. They're going to have communication, in-game communication, radios. As I understand it, there's also going to be a jamming, radio jammers, so that you may be able to force other players, enemy players, to speak in local voice chat, so you may be able to hear them, uh, or just to kill radio communication anyway. So I'm going to. You also can see your health. There's a tab up here for your health. Uh, you can suffer broken bones. A bullet can enter you and fragment into multiple pieces that you'll have to treat. You can become infected. You can become dehydrated, hungry. Um, so that's health, skills. Once you develop your skills, your skill set, you have to keep up with your skill set, because over time your skills will degrade. So you do have to keep up with your skills. There's a map. Um, from You'll see it in a second, but from what I saw, I didn't see an actual marker. I'm not sure if there's a GPS somewhere that you can pick up to use with the map. I believe they spoke in one of the question and answers about seeing friendly players on the map, like from your squad, your clan. So here's your health, your dehydration. I believe, I'm not sure what this is. That might be battery powered stuff, like your EOTech weapon sights or other holographic red dot sights. So we'll continue. There's the health. There's your map. As I said, he doesn't have a marker for himself on here currently. I'm going to go back and pause on the health screen so you can see your right leg, your left leg, left arm, stomach, right arm. And you'll have to treat all of these individually. You can see temperature here, so you'll have to monitor your body temperature. Zoom in on the map. They've got a legend, so you can see what all the different icons mean. And it's coming up here as a fallen player, so you can see he's looting. You can see the tactical rig, but he's got to actually spend some time to look through it, so it's not automatically open for him to look through. So you can see their painkillers in your inventory as well. Taking some 12 gauge shells. There's a case key that'll come into play later on in the video. And there's an M4A1 that he's going to pick up. He doesn't have any ammo for it. Oh, I'll show it later. This is interesting that you can actually open up vehicle doors to loot inside, open up the trunks of vehicles. Currently, they're not planning on having vehicle use in the game. They said possibly for the open world session scenario, but it will be only for transport. They're not going to have this. This isn't a new Battlefield. Now, picking up this key. This shows the level of detail in the looting. You can open up drawers and stuff. It will organize your inventory, move stuff around, and that's going to come into play because if you put magazines in your securable pouch, well, they don't show up for your weapon. You can't access them easily. I believe the only place that you can access magazines from on the fly are on your vest, if they're on your vest, or in your pockets. So he's looking for the room. His room key is number 118, so there you go. There's room 118. And this is where you can find some of the more valuable loot, is behind locked doors and other hidden areas around the map. So right there's a pistol case. He's gonna pick it up, open it up, check out what's inside. And this shows here he's picking up ammo for the M4. You actually have to load your magazines before you can place them in your gun. And here's the weapon modification system. So you can see there he's got a this is a basic M4A1. You've got normal iron sights. You've got an RAS rail system without any attachments on it. And as he goes through, he's going to take off the iron sight. He's going to add on his EOTech. And on the side of the gun over here, he'll add on a laser flashlight combo unit. So there's that. You can also change out your muzzle devices. So muzzle brake, flash hider, suppressor, sound suppressor. You'll be able to change all of that. Also, weapons will overheat and break down over time. They're not going to damage by getting shot at. That's one of the things that many people have asked. But they will overheat and break down over time, both visually and physically. So you'll have to take care of your weapons. There'll be toolkits for the weapons, and you'll have to find new weapon parts as they break. Your barrel may warp over time, and you'll have to find a new barrel for your gun. You can find weapon parts around the map and build the weapon from scratch also. So, for instance, you could find an AK-47 that's missing a sight, a dust cover, that's missing a stock, that's missing a muzzle device on it. And so while you may be able to fire the gun, you may not be able to fire it accurately without the backup iron sights. Reliability may be a little bit less without a dust cover on it and such. So this is showing some of the action gameplay. You've got two factions in here. I'll go over how they were created later when I'm looking at the website after this video. But you've got the Russian Bear unit, and you have the USEC private military company. And I'll go over a little bit of their backgrounds in a bit. There's radio communication. This is a really cool part coming up here. Breach right through the door. Sniper rifles are in the game. There you see candid iron sights. So while you have a magnified optic, you don't always want to use it, so you can put on a Canon sight. You just got a Canon red dot sight on here, 45-degree mount. So you have full control over your character's mobility, your stance. You can sprint. You can lean left and right. Guys checking the mag there. That's one of the things that comes into play. One of the things that's really awesome about this game is the firefights. It's not clunky. It's like a normal first person shooter. It's, you know, not as clunky as Arma and therefore DayZ. It's polished. It's smooth. Firefights are intense. The developers were striving for realism when they were designing this game, so and our player got smoked. There's some other various combat that goes through and that they show. Some that looks less scripted. That whole area was very scripted. I mean, as you know, it was actual people playing it. You could see the scavs in there. Those are the AI that the player was shooting at the end that were speaking Russian. So I'll pull up Escape from Tarkov. So the two different factions in here, as I said, you have USEC and you have Bear, and the background is that this is taking place in Tarkov. It's a fictional city in the Novinsk region in Russia. This is set in a parallel timeline, parallel universe in Russia 2028. There was a conflict that was happening in the region, and Terra Group International Corporation hired the USEC to provide armed cover for illegal work and research that was that they were conducting, and the Russian government formed the Bear Group to uncover evidence of the USCC's illegal conduct going on. And after this happened, the area blew up, and not literally blew up, but the conflict escalated immensely. The area was evacuated of civilians in the region, the majority of civilians in the region, and that's where the scavs come into play. They're civilians who did not take off, did not evacuate, and so this is where the players come in. There's a storyline behind it, discovering what's happening, and you're trying to escape Tarkov. So it looks like there's an ending, but I don't think you actually win the game. You can go back and replay, or I'm not sure exactly how ending is covered, but you have the storyline that you'll uncover as you go. You can get speak with traders to get new missions, and uh, you've got your main storyline. You've got side missions that you can do, different game modes that are going on. Not all of them are PvP multiplayer. Some of them are PvE. The developers have stated that while you could go through the game alone, you're best to do it with some friends or with the help of other players. This is what I was talking about, concealed locations, and you can find more rare weapons and other loot. So a lot of exploration. I believe the larger area after you complete the main missions, which are going to be about an hour long each, and they're going to have about 10 of them, I believe. The main area is going to be a 15 by 15 kilometer region, but the different areas of combat that you go into up until that point are a lot smaller, or about half that size, as well as the main PvP arena. So this is they're talking about their combat experience. It's a hazardous environment combat simulator is what they're calling it. They were really striving for realism here, which hasn't. I don't think they're touching on realism a lot more than other survival games have that I've noticed. This is a first survival game that I'm extremely interested in. So you've got to take care of your health, physical characteristics, hydration, energy, blood pressure, blood loss, fractures, contusions, intoxication, or poisons and infections, exhaustion, tremors, so forth. Smooth speed and change stance and transitions, leaning and proning. This says transitions. It's not weapons transitioning from your left to your right side. I believe they meant they already mentioned leaning. You're not going to be able to switch your firearm from your left hand to your right hand currently anyway. They're talking about here about how your weapon operates. It jams, overheats, it wears out. You have to reload your own magazines, aiming, charging, shooting. Most advanced weapon modding system ever. It is pretty in-depth. More in-depth than most games. This is relative whether it's the most advanced. But change everything you want to expand your weapon's tactical abilities. Interact with the environment to gain situational domination. Switch lights, as you could see in the video. When he was in the motel, he turned on the overhead lights. Commence tactical entry. You saw the guy breach through the door. He kicked the door open. You can shoot the door lock open with your shotgun or other firearms. You can also open the door with your hands, and you can see the animations. They have the animations for that. One of the things that I skipped over in the last video, in this video, they showed briefly at the very end. Your player was opening the door slowly and just push it open. He opened it slowly, and he was aiming his firearm at the same time. So that's pretty interesting that you can do that. When you're in the raid, which is the main PvP mode, if you die or you do not make it out of the mode in time before the timer runs out, you lose all the gear that you took into the raid and all the gear that you found in the raid. But you can use secured containers and insurance to make sure that you'll have a secure container back at your safe area outside of the raid. And then you can also purchase insurance, which will reimburse you for a monetary value, in-game monetary value, for all of the gear that you've lost if you did die. You have to treat yourself, your gear, and your weapons properly. You have to use medicine to stay alive. Repair your armor, firearms, and cold steel, so your knives. You have to actually purify your water and sort out your food rations. Managing inventory, organize and modify your chest rig like a real professional. As I spoke about with the Molly system, you'll be able to modify that. And NVG will be in the game. Radio headsets, ballistic vests, and helmets. Loot fallen enemies in containers to gain a vast variety of weapons to use and barter. There is a barter system in the game, a whole trading system, whole economy within the game, and it's all player based. It's based on what the players attached to the items. So the developers are not going to be setting the price of the firearms or night vision goggles or body armor in the game. It's the players are going to set that, and you can actually become a trader if you want. I'll see that later on. The scavengers. This is a in one of the game modes with PvE. There are the scavs. You go up against the scavs, and the scavs, you can also jump into the game as a scav. There will be a limited number of scavs that you can play as. So when you jump in the game as a scav, you get random gear, weapon, and health conditions. You will be able to loot while you're in the game mode. But if you die, you will not lose any gear from your main character, because it was all, the gear set was random to begin with. So you have a high risk of reward if you are good with a gun as a scav. But you won't be able to use your own gear playing as a scav. Experience a large amount of non-combat activities, communicate and trade with NPC merchants, gain their trust to get special goods and quests. These are the side quests that aren't necessarily related to the main storyline, but they're there for replayability. Adapt to economy that changes in real time by other players, operations, and events controlled by AI. Sell your loot in rag fair and auctions. Become a trader with your own store, runners, and specials. So, for instance, if your clan is playing, you can set up. You can become a trader, and you can send your own clan guys out to find loot and bring back, and you can sell it all and whatnot. Work with your stash, heal your character, repair and modify weapons, examine items, chat to learn news and gossips, establish your own combat group with unique abilities. That's a clan system. They are implementing a in-depth clan management system in here. So, clan or guild. These are some pictures, some screenshots. This game is using the Unity 5 engine. You can see here his his AK doesn't actually have a rear sight, but he does have the candid red dot sight on there. They haven't released any weapon lists yet. You can see, there's a Makarov pistol here. It's an AK-74. They're going to have AK-47s. They'll have various, Russian comm block era weapons and some World War II surplus weapons. USCC saw the M4A1 earlier. You also saw the player with the sniper rifle. 2016, I'll go up to, I believe this registered. This maybe, yeah, I don't need that. Let's go back to the main screen. Looking for the pre-order area. Can sign up for updates and attempt to get into the closed beta. Lots of people are doing that, so you're not guaranteed access unless you pre-order the game. Show you the Facebook page. And pre-order. This is what I'm looking for. So you've got a few different options for pre-ordering the game if you're interested, and I don't necessarily recommend that you do it because information about the game is pretty limited currently. You may want to wait until the beta is released and people are able to speak about it. They are having the early access or the alpha, closed alpha, but people who participate in the closed alpha will not be able to share pictures or video that they've taken during that period. So standard edition, $50, 50 US dollars. You got the digital copy of the game, guaranteed access to the closed beta, and a little bit of extra equipment at start. The Left Behind edition, you get early access for the game. This is going to release maybe a week before normal game release. Guaranteed closed beta. You have a chance here to be selected for the alpha, for the closed alpha. You get extra equipment. You get an increased stash size, 10 by 30. I believe this is your stash that's in the safe zone. So I don't think you can actually lose any loot that you keep in this stash. Additional equipment and resources in your stash. So not only your equipment on your player, but also your equipment in your stash. And that is 75 USD. Also, these prices are not including, I believe it was an $8 pre-order fee or $8 electronic payment fee. Here is the Prepare for Escape edition, early access, guaranteed access to closed beta as the other ones. Chance to be selected for alpha, bonus equipment, an even larger stash, an extra 10 items in your stash, additional equipment and resources in stash, larger secured container, more cash at the start, initially good standings with all in-game traders. So the good standings, I'm going to assume that's for gaining access to purchase some of the more rare loot or getting information and those side quests that the in-game traders will be able to give out. And this is a $100 option for pre-order. And then the limited edition, the Edge of Darkness, early access, guaranteed access to closed beta, guaranteed participation in alpha, bonus equipment at start, the largest stash of all the pre-orders, additional equipment and resources in stash, unique secured container, a large field backpack, even more cash at the start, combat tactical tomahawk, initially good standards with all in-game traders, a unique in-game ID, and free access to all subsequent DLCs. And this is a $140 option. Now I did pre-order this option. I wanted to get into the closed alpha testing, but as I said earlier, I don't necessarily think that you should just go ahead and pre-order this game. You may want to wait until the beta comes out sometime within Q1 of 2016 this year, before you go ahead and pre-order. That being said, this is limited edition. They may sell out quickly. So here's their Facebook page. They are fairly active on their Facebook page. Here are their approximate system requirements. There's their videos. They show some of the story here. I've gone over it a little bit. Fact related to pre-orders. There are a couple interviews here that they've released. They've translated for you originally in Russian. As I said, it is a Russian company, that Russian developer. So here are the system requirements. Minimal system requirements: Windows 7, 8, or 10. A dual-core 2.4 GHz Intel Core 2 Duo or i3, or a 2.6 GHz AMD Athlon Phenom 2. 6 gigs of RAM. DirectX 9 compatible graphics card with 1 GB of memory. DirectX compatible audio card. Permanent connection to the internet, and at least 8 GB of disk space. Recommended is a quad-core 3.2 GHz Intel i5 or i7, or a 3.6 GHz AMD FX or Athlon processor. 8 GB of RAM, DirectX 11 compatible graphics card with 2 gigs or more of memory, and the rest is the same as well. So those are the recommended and minimum approximate system requirements for the game. Not positive about the RAM. They're asking for a lot of RAM. RAM typically isn't used all that much, or this much, in video games. But it is running on Unity 5, as I said earlier. Unity is pretty well optimized. It's not as... doesn't have as many features as, say, Unreal Engine would have, but the engine should work just fine. They're able to have the physics for, as I said, your weapons, the bullets fragmenting inside your body, grenades, partially destroyable levels. As I said, you can breach through doors. I'm not sure if you can breach through walls or not, or certain walls. They mentioned that some of this stuff is destroyable, but not everything. It's not going to be Battlefield levolution. I forgot my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. So here's the sniper rifle that they were using in the game, the SV98. It's a really nice, high quality render. You can see, you can use this firearm without optics on it, just the iron sights if you want. They did show the guy was actually using this firearm with just the iron sights. He didn't have a magnified optic on it. There are a number of reviews based on the videos like I have done also out there. This right here is one of the reasons I've done this video. Meet the new DayZ. This is not the new DayZ. This game is its own game. There are a lot of similarities between this game and other games that are out. DayZ, Stalker, the Division's coming out, and this game, a lot of this game is very similar to the Division. With you've got your main area where I believe you're relatively safe. You don't really lose your loot. And then you've got the different zones, like the dark zone in the Division, and here it's the raids, where you go into those areas and you have to fight, and if you die or do not escape, you'll lose your loot. Um, so here's an M4 breakdown of the M4. Um, this stuff is all modular. You'll be able to change it up, possibly have different rail systems on the front. At the very least, you can attach multiple attachments to it. Canted sights, lasers, laser and flashlights, vertical grips, different sights on top of the gun. These are just the iron sights. You may be able to change out butt stocks, not sure. Magazines, I don't know if they're going to have different magazines. Well, this is a 30 round magazine, and in the video that I showed, he had a Surefire 60 round magazine. And then muzzle devices, as I said. This is showing, you'll see the AK-47 or AK-74, and here's one muzzle brake, and in the video, or some of the pictures that I showed you earlier, it had a different muzzle brake on there, so you'll be able to change that. Magazines, same thing. You can change different aspects to the firearm, different furniture, different dust covers. You can find a dust cover for that will have a rail system on top for placing optics further back. You can get a railed handguard section for here. And all of these pieces that have come off may be pieces that, break down over time, that you'll have to replace or fix. You'll have to find toolkits. Get a toolkit to be able to repair your firearms. Find spare parts. Here's a grenade for the GP25 grenade launcher. So, a lot of this information, well, all of this information is out there. All this information that I'm explaining to you, I found on my own through the question and answers that they've posted on Facebook and on their website. You can see here I've opened up a couple of question and answer sessions. So the developer is active in answering questions that players are asking, and they're also answering a number of questions in the comments as well. Here's one here. One Life Parade, how much time is each raid? And something you guys haven't said yet, and it's the most important, which are the system requirements for the game? They did go over the system requirements. I showed that to you. All those questions were answered in previous facts and posts. You can check the pinned posts. They've posted more in-depth responses than just that. So, I want to thank you guys for listening. Hope this wasn't too boring. Hope I didn't bore you too much. I know it's long-winded, but there's a lot of misinformation about this game out there, and I wanted to try and straighten out some of that information best I could. So, you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. I'll leave links for the Escape from Tarkov Facebook page, their website, the pre-order page, and I'll leave some links to the videos, the official videos that have been posted as well. So thank you guys very much for listening again. If you like this video, drop a like, subscribe, and hopefully once this game comes out into beta, if it's allowed, I can post some video. So thanks guys for listening. Catch y'all later.